Genius and madness can be used to describe the same person. Chen Bun holding the knife, staring at the pig affectionately and nervously. Suddenly, he stabs the pig multiple times emotionally and chops it up without expression on his face. Detective Ho Jia-an reports for duty on his first day. The entire department watches Chen Bun engage in the investigation. A female body was found packed in a suitcase after multiple stabbing wounds. As everyone left for the day, Chen Bun asked Jia-an to zip him into the suitcase and push him down the stairs. After intensive rolling, Chen Bun found the answer. The murderer was the owner of the ice cream shop. Chen Bun is known as the Mad Detective. He could see things that others could not see. 2 days later, the chief was retiring. Everyone bought him a pet dog as a retirement gift. Chen Bun cut off his right ear and gave it to the chief. Due to this, he got laid off. In the middle of the night, 2 policemen, Gao Zhiwei and Wang Guoju, were in a forest scouting for the criminal who had been stealing sewer covers. During this time, Gao Zhiwei stole from Wang Guoju's wallet, while Wang Guoju went to relieve himself. Wang Guoju had always suspected Gao Zhiwei of stealing from him and their colleagues in the department. As they got into a heated conflict, the South Asian criminal who had been stealing sewer covers appeared. The 2 policemen chased after the South Asian in the woods. It was difficult to catch the suspect in the dark. Finally, he found the suspect. The 2 pointed guns at each other. Gao Zhiwei did not fire, and the suspect turned and ran away. The next morning, news of the missing police officer, Wang Guoju, was released to the public. Chen Bun accompanied his wife to a convenience store for shopping. Inside, he scolded a red-haired girl who was encouraging another girl to steal, though no one else could see her in the store. His wife became angry because Chen Bun once again used his genius skills and was perceived as a lunatic. Chen Bun has the ability to see the inner personalities of others and wants to help people. 5 years after Chen Bun left the police force, Ho Jia-an became a senior inspector of the serious crime team. Ho Jia-an considers Chen Bun his mentor, and coincidentally, the gun he was assigned was the same one that belonged to Chen Bun before he was dismissed from the force. 18 months ago, Wang and Gao Zhiwei pursued a thief into the forest. Wang disappeared along with his gun, while Gao Zhiwei returned. A few months later, several armed robberies occurred, 2 of which resulted in murder. The bullets were identified as matching Wang's missing police gun. Ho Jia-an, now in charge of the case, has made no progress and admires Chen Bun's skills. However, Chen Bun's wife overhears their conversation and rushes in to prevent Chen Bun from getting involved. Seeing Chen Bun seemingly fighting with no one, Ho Jia-an decides to leave. Chen Bun's imaginary wife warns him, expressing her fear that one day he might die because of the things he sees. Despite her concerns, Chen Bun refuses to listen, determined to help people. At the Serious Crime Unit, Ho Jia-an briefs Chen Bun on the situation. After Officer Wang's disappearance, the first robbery involved a masked gunman who stole $80,000 from a mahjong parlor without firing a single shot. Later, a man robbed an armored truck, killed 3 security guards, and took $1.7 million. The bullets matched Wang's missing gun. In the last case, a man robbed a convenience store, taking $6,000 and killing the cashier. Suddenly, a female detective starts making derogatory remarks about Chen Bun, calling him a lunatic. Chen Bun looks up and walks over to a male colleague who greets him politely. Chen Bun head-butts the man and then tells the woman that he can see and hear her. Ho Jia-an immediately dismisses everyone. Later, Chen Bun tells Ho Jia-a that he has the ability to see a person's true nature, referring to them as evil spirits or ghosts. They begin their investigation by tailing Gao Zhiwei. Despite Gao Zhiwei walking alone and whistling, Chen Bun perceives 7 distinct inner personalities accompanying him. Skillfully, Chen Bun trails behind them, maneuvering past unnoticed whenever they turn around. Gao Jiwei arrives at a restaurant where he transforms into his inner persona, a fat man who orders a table full of food and lights a cigar. Chen Bun asks Ho Jia-an to question Gao Jiwei about Wang's disappearance. During the questioning, Chen Bun notices that the fat man is sweating profusely and his hands are shaking uncontrollably. At this moment, the wise woman, another inner persona, appears behind him and instructs the nervous fat man on how to respond to each question. Chen Bun follows Gao Jiwei to the washroom and urinates directly on his leg. Gao's inner fat man remains silent, too afraid to speak up. The inner wise woman calmly turns around and asks what the problem is, but Chen Bun continues to urinate. Suddenly, Gao Jiwei shifts into his inner violent and impulsive persona, smashing Chen Bun's head against the mirror and holding a gun to his head. All 7 inner personalities appear, with the wise woman observing while the others struggle to restrain the violent one, reminding him this gun can't be fired. Fortunately, Xiao An arrives just in time. The inner wise woman, seizing the moment, declares Gao Jiwei's innocence in Wang's case and discreetly slips the gun back into Gao Jiwei's pocket. As they leave, Chen Bun asks the fat man why the gun couldn't be fired. The fat man is shocked that Chen Bun can see them, while the wise woman dismissively calls Chen Bun a lunatic. Chen Bun had never encountered anyone with 7 inner personas before. Gao Jiwei is a very complex person. In the 9 months following the disappearance of police officer Wang, 3 cases occurred in quick succession. The police gun used plays a critical role in these cases. The first case involved the robbery of a cash transport truck, where 3 cashiers were shot and killed. Chen Bun replicated the scenario to understand the criminal's mindset. Chen Bun advised Xiao An that investigations should rely on the right brain, which is rich in emotions and excels in visual thinking, rather than on the logical reasoning of the left brain. Chen Bun rushed into a mahjong parlor where a robbery had occurred, although no shots were fired. Finally, they examined the convenience store, where a gunshot was fired and the cashier died on sight. Chen Bun concluded through his simulation that those who targeted the cash transport truck and convenience store were much more aggressive, while the robbers in the mahjong parlor were very timid. There were 2 different robbers and 2 different guns. How did that robber get the gun? And where did the other gun come from? Although Chen Bun didn't know the answers yet, he was thrilled to be solving crimes. Ho Jia-an's cell phone rang. At the same time, Chen Bun received a call from his wife. He invited Ho Jia-an and his girlfriend Qi to join him and his wife for dinner. Upon arriving at the restaurant, Chen Bun got excited to ride Ho Jia-an's motorcycle. Ho Jia-an and Qi learned from the waiter that Chen Bun used to come with his wife often, but eventually he started coming alone. They assumed his wife had passed away. Ho Jia-an even attempted to speak to Chen Bun's imaginary wife. The next day, they went to the jungle to look for clues. Officer Wang's body was never found, but Chen Bun could see that Wang had been killed and buried. Ho Jia-an also learned that Chen Bun had gifted the chief his ear because the chief, being pure and kind-hearted, had no alter personas. They dug a hole to imitate the crime scene. Chen Bun lay down in it. Ho Jia-an insisted on giving it a try. He hands over his badge and police gun to Chen Bun, after filling the hole with soil. Chen Bun sees a wandering man, Gao Jiwei, whose good inner personality had been abandoned here after killing his partner, Wang Guozhu. Gao Jiwei also robbed the cash truck and the convenience store. Ho Jia-an crawled out of the soil, but Chen Bun was gone. Ho rushed back to Chen Bun's residence and climbed inside. The room was filled with newspapers reporting on various cases Chen Bun had been solving after he got fired. Ho Jia-an then ran into Zhang Meihua, Chen Bun's ex-wife. They were divorced, not dead. Zhang Meihua told Ho Jia-an that Chen Bun is mentally ill and had stopped taking his medication. Meanwhile, Chen Bun arrived at the restaurant. He ate and smoked like Gao Jiwei, ordering dish after dish and eating continuously. It wasn't until he vomited that he noticed a group of South Asians outside the window. He realized something. Chen Bun then pretended to be Inspector Ho and went to Gao Juwei's workplace, where Gao mostly dealt with small-time crimes. A colleague insisted that he properly checked everyone's arms inspection records, but in reality, he only took a quick glance to see if they were carrying guns. Chen Bun found rolls of money in Gao's drawer, along with many files on South Asians. Gao Juwei hid nearby, watching the search. Bun returned to the woods and buried himself under the soil. 18 months ago, Gao Juwei and Wang were chasing a South Asian suspect when Gao lost his gun, a big no-no in the police force. Wang wanted to report it and call for backup, which would ruin Gao's clean record. Gao's nervous fat man personality emerged, and when begging failed, his aggressive inner persona took over and smashed Wang. He takes Wang's gun. The South Asian suspect, who witnessed this, pointed Gao's lost gun at him. Gao pointed Wang's gun back at the suspect. Gao's wise woman personality intervened. The more complicated the case, the better for them. Back at the police force, Gao Juwei secretly swapped Wang's gun serial number with his own. Gao and his inner personalities set up a South Asian den, leaving Officer Wang's ID and calling the police, falsely reporting South Asians carrying a gun. Meanwhile, Chen Bun, still buried, witnesses Gao's 7 inner personalities chasing a young boy, taking his gun, and tragically shooting him. Ho returns to the unit in response to the police call. Ho Jian leads the team to the scene and discovers Wang Guozhu's ID. Suddenly, a masked man appears, distracting Ho. He chases after the masked Gao Juwei and narrowly avoids being hit by a truck. Ho realizes he has lost his own gun, which is still with Chen Bun. Failing to rob Ho's gun, the masked Gao walks away. Ho passes out on the street. Later, Ho Jian wakes up to a call from Chen Bun, who explains that Gao has lost his gun, killed Wang to take his gun, and now intends to kill the South Asian who has Gao's gun. Chen Bun seeks Ho's help in finding a skinny, weak, young boy whom Gao intends to shoot. As Bun drives to meet Ho, he spots the young boy and almost runs over Ho in his haste. Ho urgently wants his police ID and gun back, but Bun explains it's part of Gao's setup. Ho regrets involving the unpredictable Bun and becomes fearful. Bun's imaginary wife warns him to stop investigating, but Ho, losing faith in Bun, tries to retrieve his gun himself, leading to a struggle. Bun, believing he's keeping Ho safe by holding onto the gun, refuses to return it. At a regular restaurant, a waiter spots Zhang Meihua, who is revealed to be alive. Bun arrives and perceives his ex, Zhang, through the lens of his own inner turmoil. Madame Zhang asks Bun to solve a case she's working on, despite potential conflicts with his imaginary wife and real-life ex-wife. Bun reluctantly tells her who the killer is on the case. Before leaving the car, Zhang sharply criticizes Bun, pointing out that he only sees flaws in others, never in himself. This stings Bun deeply as he watches her go. As Zhang leaves, Bun's imaginary wife confronts her, but Bun reminds her that no one else can see her. She bids farewell and disappears, perhaps representing Bun's inner voice that tries to keep him in line with societal norms and out of trouble. Ho Jian tells his girlfriend Qi that he lost his gun and needs to report it. Qi reminds him that he's up for a promotion soon and advises against reporting the loss. Instead, Ho Jian takes Qi's gun and files a report for his missing badge ID. Later, Ho Jian visits Gao Juwei's unit. He forcibly takes Gao Juwei's gun and checks the serial number. It was a match. After this, Ho Jian completely loses trust in Chen Bun. Meanwhile, Gao Juwei gets a lead on the South Asian thief and invites Ho Jian to join him in capturing the South Asians. In the car, Gao Juwei's 7 inner personalities stare at Ho Jian's inner weak boy. Chen Bun follows them closely. They arrive at the South Asian den. Chen Bun sends a message to Ho Jia-an, warning him that after Gao Zhiwei kills the South Asian, Ho Jia-an will be the next target. Ho Jia-an shows Gao Zhiwei the message. Mirrors in the building reflect Gao Zhiwei's 7 inner personalities, firm and clear in their goal. In contrast, Ho Jia-an's inner weak boy looks nervous in the reflection. The South Asian is hiding, and his inner personality is very scared. Chen Bun calls to warn Ho Jia-an, but Ho Jia-an calls back to expose Chen Bun's location. Gao Zhiwei shoots towards Chen Bun, shattering the mirror instead. The South Asian sees Gao shooting all the mirrors down and points Gao's lost gun at him. Gao Zhiwei, in turn, points Wang's gun at the South Asian. Chen Bun appears, pointing Ho Jian-an's gun at Gao Zhiwei, and Ho Jia-an points Cheeky's gun at Chen Bun. Chen Bun explains the situation, emphasizing that Gao Zhiwei will first kill the South Asian, retrieve his own gun, and then eliminate the rest. Gao Zhiwei questions if Chen Bun's gun belongs to Ho Jia-an. The South Asian shouts in English that Gao Zhiwei is the murderer. Gao Zhiwei shoots the South Asian, and Ho Jia-an shoots Chen Bun. Gao Zhiwei pretends to detain the South Asian and secretly reloads his gun. Suddenly, he fires at the South Asian and then turns to shoot Ho Jia-an. Chen Bun stands up and fires continuously at Gao Zhiwei. Gao Zhiwei shoots back until he runs out of bullets. Chen Bun turns to Ho Jia-an. He seems to transform into a weaker persona. A new personality emerges, a cunning woman urging Ho Jia-an to think about how to piece together the story for Cheeky. Chen Bun falls down in despair. Ho Jia-an first calls his girlfriend to come to the scene, her gun already fired. He starts to arrange the scene, changing the 4 guns one after another, each time creating a different narrative. For upcoming content, click like, pound that subscribe, and hit notification. Thank you for watching.